And now, the best 60-ish seconds of your week.
Summer is now unofficially behind us. Football is in full swing, and we are at the weekend where on Monday we will commemorate the 22nd anniversary of the 9/11 attacks on America by foreign terrorists, the worst such attacks in history. And our friend Jerry Spangler, the former district attorney of Somerset County, reminds us, I think quite pointedly, that the tragedy of that day would have been even worse if it weren't for the heroics of those people on Flight 93 who ultimately took that plane to the ground there in Somerset County. Think about the fact that it was headed to the United States Capitol, where the House and Senate had reconvened that day, where there were thousands of tourists there because of that occurring, and it was only about 20 minutes away, so there would have been no opportunity to fully evacuate that building or move the tourists out of the way or anything of the sort, or protect the White House for that matter. And so what they did really did change the arc of history. And one of the things that the folks there on the ground, at that hallowed ground, are asking is, are we worthy of the sacrifices that they made? It's almost a quarter of a century later, and what have we become? What are we today? Will we make them proud of the sacrifices that they made? Would they be saying that we were worthy and had created a land worthy of what they did? I think it's a question for all of us to ask ourselves every single day, and what we're doing to truly make America great every single day. And sadly, part of the answer to what have we become is going to be seen maybe in the next few days, but certainly we're told by the end of the month, where an indictment will be brought against Hunter Biden, but only for the gun charges. So think about that. This is brought by David Weiss, now the special prosecutor, who is the guy that gave Biden the sweetheart deal that a federal judge shot down. We're now going to see an indictment for the gun charges only. The rest of the investigation remains open. And we know that you can't indict a sitting president, but where are going to come the indictments for bribery, money laundering, influence peddling, potential violations of FARA, the Foreign Agent Registration Act, etc. The things that really do sound like a RICO type of offense. We'll have to see, but increasingly, Americans of all political persuasions are saying that they believe we have a two-tiered system of justice. That's simply something we cannot tolerate, and rips apart the fabric of who we are and what we are becoming and are yet to become. And as the other Biden, President Joe Biden, has another Biden moment wandering off before the end of a Medal of Honor ceremony. I mean, you just cringe at this kind of stuff, but it's who he is at this point, and it's something that the American people are going to have to decide very, very quickly whether they want to have continue. I'm saying they're going to reject it out of hand. I don't think next year is going to turn out to be as close an election as people are saying today. And our thoughts are with baseball, even as football season begins. And here's an interesting little side note from a Philly boy, because I'm a Philly fan. I have to admit that. I know we're the most obnoxious fans in the world. But think about what Philadelphia did for Trea Turner, who was really struggling. Came to the plate in a game where he had I don't know how many outs at the plate going into that game on a road trip. First game back at home, the fans give him a standing ovation. And what he has done since then, in addition to putting up those billboards, which was a totally class move, is unbelievable. Last week, he's Player of the Week, hitting over 400, 423 for the week, 5 home runs in consecutive games, a franchise-tying record, has the longest hitting streak in the majors right now, interrupted only because he went on the paternity list, a 3-day reprieve because his wife had a baby. It's all good in Philadelphia as we move into the final few games of the 2023 regular season. And on a quick personal note, I received so many really kind and complimentary notes, emails, and phone calls last week about my segment on my resignation as vice chairman of CPAC. It really wasn't an easy thing to do, but it was the right thing to do. And as I observed something my father told me long ago, if you do the right things, the right people are with you, and that certainly was proven. And I'm very grateful to all of you for the very, very kind things you said. And I want to just give a special shout out to Dave Brinton, who said some very, very nice things on National Public Radio. And so I just wanted to say thanks, Dave. And the world lost a great one this week. Jimmy Buffett passed away from Merkel cell carcinoma, something we all ought to know a little bit about because it's a really devastating disease, a skin cancer. But it's a lot better to just reflect on how happy he made so many of us for so many years. You know, if you were by the pool or at the shore on the beach, Jimmy Buffett was loud in your ears, whether it was his iconic Margaritaville or Cheeseburger in Paradise or any of the rest of the songs that he sang so well. His island escapism allowed all of us to go to a place that was really beautiful and that he filled and made come to life. May he rest in peace. And finally, on another sad note, what's going on in my native country of Brazil and the flooding in southern Brazil is really tragic. You know, the death count at this point can't even be calculated because there are so many places that have been flooded out to which people can't even get to count the bodies, etc. And we don't know how many survivors there are there, but thousands and thousands of people left homeless in areas that are already really, really impoverished and struggling. So please pray for the people of Brazil, pray for the soul of Jimmy Buffett, and have a great weekend because for now, that is the best 60-ish seconds of your week.